So, formative assessment and summative assessment. Little bit of theoretical knowledge I will discuss about formative assessment and summative assessment. So, there is a, if you see that there is a garden analogy, this is common, this you can find out from the net also. This analogy is I have also taken from the net only, the garden analogy. So, forget about this, do not see the slide, think about, just look at me. What is garden analogy? So, there is a two process in garden. One is that you have to measure the progress of the plant, and you have to measure, you have to find out the feedback loop, that okay, if the progress is not good this week, provide this one. If progress is not good this week, so provide this feeding. So, I can say the purpose of taking assessment about the progress of the plant is two. One is periodic, which is called formative, to find out the requirement of the plant, regular check by regularly, whether the plant are growing, whether they require this kind of feeding, based on that periodic performance. Think about students. Students are kept learning. You want to find out, are they really learn it, or is there any misconception of the students? So, you are finding out the learning need, so that you can provide appropriate remedial things. And another one is to certify, yes, this student has learned, summative assessment. In garden analogy, it is that okay, this garden within 6 months, those progress is satisfactory. This all plants are 80% growth. So, that you are judging the overall management. So, summative assessment, formative assessment. The concept of formative assessment. So, what I said? I want to find out what is the lacuna, what kind of misconception is there on the learner. So, the collection of data and information during the development of instruction that can be used to improve the effectiveness of the instruction. Today I take a class for a particular concept. Okay. As a teacher, I thought the concept is well understood by every student. But if I want to test whether the concept is clear for every student, or there is a certain misconception. So, what should I do? I should design an assessment by which I can find out what are the misconceptions exist on the students. Once I am able to find out that, I can easily provide remedial lessons to particular students. Oh, you have this misconception, please see that this material, because you have done this way, so it will be like this way. Can I do that? That is the purpose for formative assessment. So, what is called the diagnostic assessment? It can be a diagnostic assessment. I am diagnosed that you have this misconception. But what is the problem? In a large classroom, suppose I have a classroom size of 300 students, and if I take a class test for find out the misconception of the individual students, think about the enormous tasks as a teacher I have to say. What is that? I have to correct 300 answer sheet, not only provide marks, I have to find out for these students this misconception, these students this misconception, these students this misconception. Then I can categorize them, those are the group of students has this misconception. Then I have to provide their remedial lessons. It is a tremendous task for a large classroom, but this is required to improve the effectiveness of the instruction. Unless I do it, I am not sure whether every student has learned that concept or not. So, formative assessment which is used for periodic in nature is also criteria driven. I am coming, what is FB facilitation value, I am coming, that is, do not think see the slides. So, think about the what is the purpose of this formative assessment. What is the problem? Problem is, as a teacher, if I have to correct 300 answer script and also to find out the misconception from each answer script and provide the remedial lesson to each students, is a tremendous task. So, what I said, can technology will help to reach this large class? What I said, the education technology is not a new thing. Education technology cannot replace teachers. Education technology is a chopstick. If you have understand that, have you seen the chopsticks? Japanese, Chinese use chopsticks. So, they call it is extended fingers. Maybe in some place my finger cannot reach, but chopstick can reach. So, education technology can be used as a chopsticks. That means, where the classroom size, earlier classroom size is 30 students in a class. Now, if make it 100, what kind of education technology I should use, so that the effective teaching whatever I teach for 30 students can be extended to 100 students. So, in this case, I have a 300 students class, I want to design a diagnostic test assessment system. Can education technology help to find out the misconception of the every students and provide remedial lessons to student wise by a computer? Yes, it is possible. How it is possible? I give a simple example. It is better that if I give you engineering, but I give you a very basic example so that everybody can understand. Let us think about number systems. I am teaching a number system concept to the class. Let us, I think 5 teachers, 5 students, 2 to the power, let us 5. So, what is the concept behind this? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 5 times 2 will be multiplied. What are the possible misconception can be exist in here? Possible misconception is that some student can add these two numbers. So, some student can answer 7, some student can answer 10 and some student can give the correct answer. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Now, think about, can I design a MCQ questions? So, suppose I am design an MCQ questions and give it to the all students. The student who have answered 7, identify the misconception. They are actually adding these two numbers. So, suppose I design a computer based system where every students can answer from their mobile phone or from a clicker or using Moodle whatever technology and they give the answer. Once computer know the students has given answer 7. So, during the creation of the question paper, when as a teacher when I create the questions 2 to the power 5, option A is 7. Now, if student answer option A, then the misconception is students are adding that if it is A to the power B, then students are adding A plus B. So, their remedial lessons is it is not A plus B, it should be A into A B times. So, that remedial lesson is written and stored in the computer. So, once student choose option A, then in their computer send them the misconception. This is the remedial lesson. So, as a teacher, I am create the question bank once. So, 2 to the power 5 maybe next question may be asked 8 to the power 3. So, I can ask the questions and computer automatically provide their remedial lessons. So, as a teacher, once I develop the question bank for each concept and their possible misconception, then I can easily conduct the test in a large classroom. That is education technology help. That is called ICT for education, that is education technology. So, this can be treated as a assessment ICT application of assessment and evaluation. This is developed by one of my research scholar. I think it will be available currently, that I will integrate it in some server, so that it can be used. So, it is effective. In a 300 student class for any subject, let us give an example. Suppose I talk about that truth table of again electronic size, truth table of a RS flip flop. As a teacher, I know the student might be confused with JK kind of things. So, what are the possible misconceptions I know? So, I can frame the questions along with the possible misconception. For every misconception, I enclose some document. So, when computer float these questions, students answer, based on the students' answer, computer automatically give them the remedial lessons. Okay. So, this is the main purpose for formative assessment. Okay. Then there is a summative assessment. This is called assessment of learning. So, summative assessment actually taken to collect the data about the student's competence, and based on that data, I will evaluate or I will quantify their competence. You got 80%, you got 70%, you got 30%. Okay? So, that is summative assessment. Okay? Then I come to the two kinds. Assessment is, forget about these slides, assessment has two kinds. One is called norm reference, another one is called criteria base. Most of the classroom assessment or assessment whatever we are talking is criteria based. The criteria is fixed. What is the criteria? Criteria is to whether the student achieve the course outcomes or not, whether the students have acquired the skill which I want for this kind of course, whether they acquire or not. Since criteria are fixed, that is why that assessment is this summative assessment in our cases for evaluation of the students is criteria based. Now, what is norm reference assessment? Suppose somebody so in criteria base, same marks can be obtained by many students, does not matter. Same grade may be obtained by many students, does not matter. But if I told you, suppose you have a class of 100 students, rank them, rank the class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 100. How do you do that? So, if I take a test for 20 marks, so there is a possibility that same marks can be obtained by many students. I have a 100 students, I take a test for 20 marks. So, let us 10 marks obtained by many students, let us 10 marks obtained by 50 students. Then how do I rank them 1 to 50? Then you can say, okay, this is tough questions, this is, so lot kind of permutation combination we can say. But let us say design a question paper such that, so if it is 20 marks test, if there is a no fractional marking, that at best I can rank 20 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 students at best. But once I increase the more than 20, so there is a possibility the same marks will be obtained by many students. If I want to reduce this cohort size, then what should I do? I design a question paper such a way that I am ensuring that at least 70% of the students should not get more than 3 marks. So, now only 30 students I have to rank within a 17 mark score. So, my cohort size is less. So, this is called norm reference assessment. So, I can say this is an elimination test. Instead of competence measurement, I want to eliminate most of the students who does not quantify that category. Example, JEE Main, JEE Advanced, all are norm reference examination, and in that examination we want to eliminate most of the students. Okay? So, that is called norm reference assessment. Criteria based norm reference. This is slides why and when the purpose of assessment. Assessment for learning, diagnostic before, that is called pre-test. I may say that assessment for learning before or during the learning, both are possible. So, before learning, before I starting the class, I can test whether they have that prerequisite concept or not, that is called pre-test, or during the class also I can find out what is their misconception, that is during formative assessment, during learning, and summative assessment is after learning. Summarize the student attainment of expected learning. So, this is enable instructor to adapt to learner needs. This is self and peer assessment are key component for teaching learning process, and this is conducted at the end of the instruction period, determine the final goal, determination of the final goal, whether the students has achieved it or not. So, I am not reading the slides. Then what is ongoing assessment, summative assessment and their outcome, it is written. So, I am not going to read the slides, you can read it. So, it is same things whatever I have said. So, in a nutshell, the formative assessment are generally designed for find out the misconception or periodic assessment or to find out the misconception of the students. Summative assessment are conducted at the end of the session to find out or to certify the students' competence for evaluation purpose, and formative assessment must be diagnostic test based, because it has to be diagnose the student's misconception, provide their remedial lesson. Summative assessment should be criteria based in our most of the cases, when I have to certify the attainment level of the students. But there may be a norm reference assessment which can be used to rank the students in chronological order. So, that is the summary of formative and summative assessment. Then the question is validity and reliability of the assessment. If I talk about, can we trust the present grade? Suppose somebody get a EX grade, I am sure the competence of the students is the level of EX? If it is not, then what is the validity and reliability of that grade, that certification? Another way is thinking about that. Suppose you are teaching a subject called analog electronics, and you write COs are all design, analyze and evaluation level. You set a question paper on define push pull amplifier, describe push pull amplifier, write a short note on this. Is your assessment is valid for your CO? This is not valid assessment. Most of the cases you are saying students should have a competence on design of a push pull amplifier, but at the assessment procedure you are giving a question that describe the operation principle of push pull amplifier. Is that assessment is valid? Not valid. So, validity of the assessment is that degree at which the assessment measure the intended learning outcome. Think about an example. You said that the end of the 3-month driving program, you will be able to drive a light motor vehicle on this kind of road condition. You have written out outcome. But at the end of the program, you are asking the students what is the sign for left turn, what is the sign for right turn. Is it valid? Those you have asked in the formative assessment. So, here you have to test whether they will able to drive the car or not. Based on that, you have to certify their competence. So, validity referred to the degree to which assessment measure the intended learning outcome. Then this is assessment, the validity of the evaluation if you say. So, what is the purpose for class test? To provide remedial lessons. Now, if you include the class test marks in also evaluation, then what is the use? Because class test does not test the attainment of any one of the CO. So, how those data will be included in the evaluation? So, that is called validity of the question paper. Students said, oh sir, design a question paper. Sometimes teacher said, oh this time I will design a end semester question paper. Nobody can answer. That is not the purpose. That means the validity of the question paper is 0. Oh, this question can be answered only half an hour study. Validity is 0. So, validity of the questions assessment, that means question is asked in assessment, assessment will depends on the what are the intended outcome you want to achieve. Most of the cases you see the BTech question paper you can analyze, explain this thing, describe this thing, write a short note on this thing, define this thing, derive this thing. If I ask these questions, then it is obvious that after the exam students will forget everything. So, this is the validity of an assessment. What is the reliability? What is the reliability of the assessment? If I ask you what is the definition of reliability? So, reliability means basic definition of the reliability. See, this machine is very much reliable, we said. That means, along the timeline, the performance of the machine does not change. So, reliability means, along the timeline, the quality should not be deteriorated. That is called the reliability. Now, if I ask you, is your assessment, is your evaluation is reliable? That means, if I today take a test and I assign a student with grade EX, can I guarantee if I take the similar test after 1 month, the students will get EX marks? If it is not, then the reliability is 0. Now, you may say, sir, how do you improve the reliability of the question paper? Very simple example you can think. Suppose you learn how to bicycle. So, you have learned how to bicycling. Now, after 2 months, if I give you another bicycle and I told you bicycle, you will be able to do it. Why? Because this bicycling is a skill, it is not knowledge, it is not knowledge means remembering. So, it is a skill. So, if I test the skill of the students, if I design the assessment such a way which will test the skill of the students, if the students pass that skill or if the students acquire that skill will never forgot by the students. So, when you want to make the assessment and evaluation more reliable, make the test item more skill based. Do not ask write a short note on this, do not ask define this thing which are memorizable, do not ask that. Make the test item skill based. If they are able to solve it, they will remember it for their lifelong. Today I can memorize a formula, tomorrow I can forget, but today if I solve a problem, solve a complex problem, then that is the ability to solve complex problem. That is a skill and that skill will remain with me at the end. So, that is called reliability of the assessment. I am not going this kind of jargon. So, this is the reliability. So, once you make a question paper, want to make a question paper much more reliable, make the questions on skill base instead of testing write a short note on this thing. Okay. Today, most of the cases you see the question paper reliability is almost 0. Reliability of the evaluation is almost nil. Most of the cases, if you see any board exam or kind of things, 90% of the students get 100 of 100. Can I ensure the skill of the students is also 100% for 100 students? If I take the same test after 2 months, can I ensure that all will get the 100 out of 100? No, they have to give a reading time. Why the reading time is required? If it is converted to the skill base. If you design a question paper where the question paper is public or question paper is not public, the student performance does not have not a statistically significant difference, that question paper reliability and validity is 0. Think about a board exam. If the question paper is out before the exam, what you said? 95% of the students will get 100 out of 100. If a question paper is not published, 90% of the students get 100 of 100. What is the difference? 5%. Is it statistically significant? So, then the reliability and validity of the exam is almost 0. Most of the cases BTech engineering, if you see the question paper, 5 questions: explain, describe, write difference. What the reliability is 0. Student will learn. So, in my cases, whether the explanation student memorize and write in the exam or whether they come with a piece of paper and write in the exam, both are same, because both will be never memorized by the students. Both the student will forget in both the cases after 1 day. So, whether he memorize and write or whether he come with a piece of paper and write in exam hall does not make any difference, because both the cases student will forget that after 2 or 3 days. So, make the question paper more reliable, make it more skill based, more problem solving, more analyzing ability, more design ability. That will develop their skill, and that increase the reliability of the question paper. Most of the time we have written question, write the difference between A and B. What is the purpose? So, the validity and reliability of the assessment depends on how you design. Your all test item in the assessment must be targeted towards CO. There is no meaning, oh, student has to be passed, so there will be some questions on definition, so 30 marks on definition and derivation. No meaning called pass and fail unless they develop the skill. I may design a question paper which is much more reliable. All students get 0. I give them all 100, doesn't matter. But I know nobody has acquired any skill. So, your management said give them the 100, you give them, what is the problem? But as a teacher, I am diagonized them that you do not know anything of that. That is very important. For an example, live example, think about, you go to the doctor prescribe a medicine. If you do not take that medicine, that is not the responsibility of the doctors. But once the doctor see it, he has to prescribe the medicine. The medicine has to be taken by the patient. It is the responsibility of patient and their parents or their family members. It is not the responsibility of the doctors. So, I found a student does not develop that skill. So, I have to show him that you do not have that skill. Please acquire that skill which is essential for your near future. Unless you do that, what is the meaning of pass and fail? Okay? So, I stop here. Next day I will talk about the test item analysis. Okay? Thank you.